Time on deck is 10:28, and as promised, we are about to partake in a live interview with New Bedford's own Todd Dos Reese, and he's coming all the way live via LA. So, hey, what's going on, Todd?
How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing well. Listen, it's an honor to have you on Mags in the Morning, and just know that you are the first live interview that I had on Mags in the Morning.
That is awesome. It's an honor. It's an honor.
So as I understand, you've got a new movie coming out. Can you give us some insight as to what it's all about and how we can find it?
Yes, the movie is called The Blackening. It came out actually a couple weeks ago. It's in theaters now. You can find it. Most of the theaters around you will have it, and it's also playing on demand. So if you can't make it to the movies, it's on demand in your house. But it's more fun to see it with the audience. So please, if you can, see it at a theater. I forget the theaters there, but the North Dartmouth Mall should have it. And is there still a Cinema 140? I might be showing my age, but
No, no, they've done away.
oh,
So we unfortunately we only have the Dartmouth Mall left remaining for cinemas
okay.
here.
But you could find it around you. But the Blackening is about college friends that come together for a weekend at a cabin in the woods, basically, to remember Juneteenth or celebrate Juneteenth, the end of slavery. So they're getting together to uh, have some fun, and then trouble ensues.
Nice, nice. So I gave a brief bio. I read your bio. I told people, and I always tell people, listen, when a person has a Wikipedia, you know that they've made it. You know that they've done something well, and this is what I try to preach to all the kids. It's not just, oh well, we see people out in LA. Listen, there's a beginning, there's a process where it starts. Can you tell the audience out here, and the listeners, how it started for you, and start from A, and go to Z.
Well, first of all, I didn't know I had a Wikipedia, so thanks for letting me know. Um, but the beginning, the A, I was born in the South End. So I was born in the South End, did my first 7 years in the South End. Then my mother and I moved to Westlawn Projects in the West End of New Bedford. Um, Went to New Bedford High School, started learning about photography. We had a black and white still lab in the high school, so I was into that. And then we also had a TV studio, which I pretty much ran my last 2 years of high school with Mr. Robitaille, the late Mr. Robitaille, rest in peace. Um, but I was into film. I was as a young man, not as young man, as a child. I was sneaking to the State Theater, now the Zeiterion Theater, and seeing movies pretty much every weekend. So I was pretty much raised by the black exploitation genre of film and Bruce Lee films. I literally was there every weekend, whether it's Saturday and Sunday. I was there. I loved going to the theater. I loved being in the dark room and watching these magical images on screen. And I got hooked. And when I got to the high school, Mr. Robitaille gave me a list of colleges that you could major in film and television. And on the top of that list was the University of Southern California, USC. So I applied there. I applied to a few other places, NYU. Um, I didn't apply to UCLA because by then I was already a USC fan, so I was anti UCLA. Um, but I applied to USC. But also because of basketball, I didn't want to give up my basketball dream. So I instead of going to USC right away, I went to Babson College and played Division III basketball at Babson College in Wellesley, Massachusetts. From there, I transferred to USC and got into the film school, which was one of the best film schools in the country, and went there for 4 years and graduated and started working as a camera assistant before I started working as a director of photography. And that's how I pretty much got into the business. I went to film school and then started working in the industry.
All right. So obviously, it's a process. It's not. A lot of people think that it's just, oh, let me go to L.A. and I'm magically gonna fall into the L.A. dream. It's a process. You got to put work in, and it's important because a lot of the kids nowadays, especially here in the southeastern Massachusetts area, they look up to a lot of the basketball players, a lot of the movie stars, but it's important for them to know that, listen, there are Todd Dos Reeses in New Bedford that can go through the process and ultimately become successful and follow their dreams. New Bedford has a stigma about it, like, okay, you're always going to be here, you're never going to do anything. But listen, there's always success stories, but it's always what you put into it and to follow your dreams, most importantly.
I mean, if I can come from the Westlawn Projects, I lived there for 11 years, single mother, on welfare. I mean, there's so many stories about kids coming from projects, and I'm one of them. And I came. Everybody in New Bedford knows the Westlawn Projects. I'm not far removed from the Westlawn Projects, and I said I'm going to LA to study film, and I did. And I had, my mother couldn't help me. I just did scholarships and financial aid, work study. I had a job all the time, and I did it. And even going back even further, after I left Babson College, USC Film School was so hard to get into. I didn't get in till 3 years later. I had to try. I made 3 attempts. I admitted myself 3 times to try to get into the film school, and I finally got in my junior year. So anybody, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Exactly, exactly. And like I said, kids need to hear this, and they need to know that, listen, there are like I said, there are Todd Dos Reeses who come from the project, who come from a single parent home. Everything isn't roses and everything. There's a struggle, but the most important thing is to stay true to your dreams and continue to move forward, and don't let anyone ever tell you no. I'm going to tell you something. When I first started with this thing with the radio station, I had someone tell me, radio is dead. Radio is dead. No one's going to listen to you. No one's, you can just go to, which is true. You could just go to your mobile device and make a playlist and anything. But listen, if it's your passion, if you love doing it, you move forward. And I look back. I started out doing this in my cellar, and
Wow.
this is what it's grown to. I mean, I've had a lot of people along the way, who've actually helped me, thank God. But um but like I said, it started off small, and we're moving, we're doing different things, and hopefully we can be the voice. At some point we can be the voice of New Bedford, because like I always say, I say it every day, there's no need for us. We have a big enough, New Bedford's small, but it's big in its own way, and we have enough people here to have listeners and not go to the Bostons or not go to the Rhode Island stations and listen. We can give them great stories such as yours and present it right here on WMB1 Radio.
Hey, and we in Los Angeles have been listening to you for a while, so keep it going, brother.
Yes, listen, like I said, I thank you. I appreciate you, and we're going to look for your movie, and if we can't
The
find it,
Blackening, the
yes, The
Blackening. You can
Blackening.
find it. Go to
We're
a
gonna
theater and see it.
we're gonna look for it, and we're gonna try to track it down. And if we can't, listen, we'll rent it. We're gonna do whatever. That's gonna be on my bucket list for this upcoming weekend, is to go see The Blackening,
I
and
appreciate it.
represent for Mr. Todd Dostries. Todd, thank you very much. We appreciate you here on WMB1 Radio, and keep doing big things. And we want to bring you back maybe in a few months, and let us know what you're doing then.
Thank you, Brian. Will do. Anytime. Call me up.
All right. Thank you, Todd.
Take care.
All right. All right, that was Todd Dos Reese, and thank you, Todd, once again for enlightening us and giving us a background. And remember, listen, if you got a dream, dream big, and don't let anyone ever tell you no. You can come from the projects, you can come from a single family home. We've seen the stories, we've seen them over and over and over again. Just stay true to your dream and keep it moving, man. That's all I got to say. Keep it moving. We're going to get back to more of the music here on WMB1 Radio. Keep it locked right here to WMB1 Radio, Mags in the Morning.